We didn't start with more work. We didn't start with more tools. We started with one simple principle called closing the loops. It's a 10x move because energy just doesn't come from doing less. It comes from finishing more.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
Let me tell you a story. I flew down to South Florida for a 2-day in-person, 66-day law firm turnaround kickoff. And this is one of the engagements where we go all in. Systems, people, process, intake, marketing, operations, leadership, revenue leaks. If you've hung out with me, you know that I'm consistently saying money is energy, everything. I walk into the office a little before 8 o'clock, kick off at 8 a.m. I'm ready. I'm energized. I'm thinking. I'm pumped. Let's go. We're about to unlock serious growth here. And then I walk into the PLA, and some of you might not be familiar with this term, professional law firm administrator's office. And it stopped me absolutely in my tracks. There were boxes everywhere, piles on the floor, stacks on the desk, sticky notes, files, overflow. It wasn't just messy, it was heavy. And I'm telling you, within less than 60 seconds, my energy dropped. My anxiety went through the roof. I literally had to take my blazer off. I started to sweat. You could just feel it in the room. And before a single word was spoken, I already knew what was happening inside this firm. Drop balls, lost opportunities, clients waiting too long, behind in billing, follow-up not happening, team members unclear, attorneys stepping back in where they absolutely positively should not be. Not because this person did not care, not because everything was unfinished. It was the root of all anxiety is lack of information. And things were unfinished. If they were, they would be nice and tidy. Everything was in a constant looping feedback loop. And I don't just mean where you at with this, where you at with that follow up. Yeah, I forgot, not just at the mental rumination as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a business owner. And I remember I looked at the attorney and I asked him, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your confidence? On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your confidence that you can let go and fully trust? Without hesitation, he said, is negative 77 an option? And honestly, that answer did not surprise me at all because trust doesn't break overnight. It erodes through open loops, feedback loops, circling back, whatever terminology. You get the drill, you know this, you feel this. And attorneys, you're not off the hook. This is for your team members too, that tell me every single day, can't get a response. I can't get my attorney to do blah, blah, blah. So it goes both ways. It's a two-sided street. Here's the truth. No one is saying loud enough. You're not exhausted because of your workload. You're exhausted because you're open loops. It's in the texts that haven't been answered. Don't even get me started on Slacks and team channels. Don't even get me started on email communication ping pong internally and externally. If the drafts folder, if any of you right now stopped or after listening to this went back to your drafts folder and you're like, oh crap. Probably if you're anything like me, before I assign my executive assistant to go through that every day, you have half-written emails everywhere. The client you need to call back, the team member you need to have a conversation with, the decision you keep pushing to later, the opportunity you keep pushing to later. No shortage of idea fairies. It's all about implementation. The billing you know is behind before you even open up QuickBooks. The follow-up system you know is inconsistent. The things that just sit there quietly, but in thundering silence. But they're running in the background like too many open tabs all day long. And these tabs are in your brain. driving, soccer games, shower, sleeping, not sleeping, watching TV, being present with your team or your family, in the meeting, you're in a marketing meeting or a production meeting or a case management meeting, and then ping, 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 ping. 47 tabs open in your brain, but they never close. And every single one of them drains your energy. Start tracking your energy before you're tracking time, money, billable hours, all that stuff. That law firm administrator, she's not lazy. She isn't incapable. She was overwhelmed by open loops as well, and no system to close them. She inherited a lot of that because she had been there for about a year. No clarity on priorities, no defined cadence, no ownership structure. So everything lived everywhere in piles and boxes in her head as well. And so when I hear, we're so busy, we're so busy, we're so busy, the day you're not busy is the day you're out of business. So stop saying that. Like, be really real and honest with yourself. Because here's what happens when you become your operating system. Your body keeps score. You start your day already behind. Sometimes when you're in the shower, like, oh crap, this, oh that, oh whatever. Or you get the email, or you get whatever, or you get the text that so-and-so's sick or quit or didn't show up or what have you. We all know it. And we are inconsistent reacting instead of leading. We avoid instead of decide. We defer and deflect. We no longer hold steady and strong and solid in our role and understanding we are in the business of making decisions. And then that's when the white knuckling comes and you hold on to everything because letting go feels so risky, frightening, actually. And you might feel this as a team member, and your attorneys absolutely feel it, and your leaders feel it, which is why I get answers like negative 77 an option. So here's the shift, because this is where everything changed for that firm, and is where everything will change for you. A motto that I always have my teams and my law firms and my clients stand by: we can, we will, watch us. We didn't start with more work. We didn't start with more tools. We started with one simple principle called closing the loops. Close the loops. That is first order. That's it. One critical constraint. I love the book, The One Thing. This is everything. This is a 10x move, because energy just doesn't come from doing less. It comes from finishing more. So we anchored everything into that structure: daily huddles, clear priorities, defined ownership, time chunking. We took every single one of those open loops and gave them a home, a system, a next action, a due date. Because here's what I need every one of you to understand. An open loop with no action is mental torture. It is a tragedy. And you think this doesn't have that much weight? Sometimes we are so conditioned to operating into chaos. I have a coach at one time would say, chaos is a form of connection. Sometimes when things are too peaceful, actually, depending on your Colby or your disc or what have you. But an open loop with next action is mental torture. Maybe not for you, whoever you are that's listening to this. Maybe for the attorney, you kind of love that and thrive on that. But if you can give your team, think of it as a retention tool, whatever hack you have to create to give your team what they need. We need open loops with a plan, because that is progress. That is strategy. You attorneys love process. You love strategy. You love roadmaps. Everything strategic around it. We clean that office, not for the pretty, for the energy, because the environment is a direct reflection of everything, your operations, and a direct reflection of your leadership. We got billing current. We built a follow-up system. We implemented tracking. We created visibility. And most importantly, we gave that administrator a way to actually finish things. 2 days, less than 2 days, less than 18 hours, we did all that. And do you know what happened? Energy came back online fast. Confidence came back. Trust started rebuilding in 18 hours or less because now things weren't living in people's heads anymore. We weren't operating by tribal knowledge. We were not operating by the person with the strong follow through. We were being executed, closed, complete. So often when I ask people questions about done, I'm like, what does done mean? Show me what done walks, talks, acts like, behaves like, and I get crickets. I get deer in headlights. So maybe you are sitting here right now and you are thinking, why am I so tired? Why does this feel so heavy? This is not what I was promised when I became an attorney, a visionary, an entrepreneur. I wanted to own my own time. I wanted to call the shots. I wanted to do things the way that I knew needed to be done for exponential client experience and revenue. Why can't we ever get ahead? I really invite you for the power of the pause. Y'all know that I love that, to just pause. Really sit there, close your eyes, and I want you to ask yourself what loops are still open. Pen to paper, get it down. Not the big dramatic ones. And my visionaries, my quick starts, don't go to your comfort trap of marketing, opportunities, future. Today, what loops are still open? Not dramatic ones, the small ones, the ones that keep you feel like you have to keep pushing. Sometimes upstream with cinder blocks tied to your ankles. What are you avoiding? This is an open loop. That courageous conversation with sometimes the longest standing employee that's been with you and is resistant and bottlenecking. It's like a brick wall. It's not even a stop sign. What are you avoiding? Delaying. What ones require you to consistently push? Those are the ones costing you the absolute most. You know this. You've experienced it. When the person you've been tolerating finally quits or has to leave because they have a sick family member or what have you, or there's a big blow up and they finally quit. And 60 days into it, you're like, holy Toledo. Everything is operating so much better. So here's your challenge. Today, before the day ends, close 3 loops, just 3. Respond to this message, make the call, have the conversation, assign the task, finish the thing, close the loop, give your team the time, attention, and feedback that they need, review the documents that you're putting off, call the CPA, open the QuickBooks that you've been avoiding, open the bank account that you've been avoiding. Whatever that thing is, it has your sitting on your chest like an elephant, sitting on your head, and you're constantly tired. It's not because we're afraid to work. I have an attorney that is doing 25 sales consultations a week, crushing it, 89% close rate, never tired from that. Other things, when it comes to the people and following up with people and legal vendors that he's hiring, we're constantly doing this exercise. Where is your energy level right now? Pay attention to what is absolutely sucking the life out of you and what is energizing you. For me, I can be in Zoom rooms and back to back to back meetings for 11 hours. I could hop on a plane and go from Colorado to South Florida for a 2-day office visit to a law firm and take a red eye there, a red eye back, and what have you. I'm not tired. I can't sleep when I get on the plane. I am whiteboarding. I am closing loops. I'm creating strategic plans. I'm so excited for what's available on the other side of that. You have me create a spreadsheet and I want to bang my head across hard surfaces all day long. I have to follow up with my team, or I show up and I go into HubSpot or CRM or what have you, and I don't see tasks moving. It is like I ran a marathon with no water, no food, no sleep. I am like crumbled. So really get clear on your exhaustion, on your tired, because the goal is never to have less to do. It's to be operating in your zone of genius. But for me, even more importantly, the people that I pay, including legal vendors, the people that are here to support me, if they're not 10 steps ahead of me, and I'm not showing up in a meeting and all of my notes and everything are in that calendared appointment and I am not prepared and able to even slide in and be fully up to speed 20 seconds before the meeting and pull up everything, my energy is absolutely drained. I lose full confidence. And employees, this is when we say that our attorneys are control freak, that they won't let go of anything, that nothing's ever good enough. Bullshit. All of that is bullshit. That's excuses for not doing our part. The goal is to stop carrying what's incomplete and getting deeply curious about why it's incomplete and making shifts in real time. If I had not gone in that law firm and showed up to that was such a gift. We had a massive turnaround in 18 hours or less. Life-changing. There is no question that they're going to 3x their revenue if they stay on track. It wouldn't be helpful if I just came in for 2 days and then left and I'm like, good luck. No. Extreme accountability with grace, with love, with all the things. But this is the way that we get out of our living hell, whatever that is for you. And we can't do it on our own. And we can't do it with our own perspective. Had I never named that and gave the attorney a space for the PLA to hear that, and the PLA is like, thank you, because this sucks the life out of me every single day. I'm working 12 hours a day and I feel like I'm rearranging chairs on the deck of a sinking Titanic here. Mental clutter is more exhausting than physical work ever will be. You don't need a vacation. You need to close loops and watch your energy come back online like a boss. And when your energy comes back, I want you to pause and really soak that in and celebrate that, because that's when your leadership comes back online. Your clarity. I don't know about you all, but that word, that's my word for the year. I want extreme clarity in every single area of my life. And so does growth. And yes, so does increased revenue. So let's get you out of the piles, the mental pile first and foremost, and get you all back into power, not force. Power versus force. All right, get out there, get going, do your homework. I want to hear from you. I want feedback. I want emails. I want you to tell me exactly what you uncovered when you did this Power of the Pause exercise. Reach out, book a clarity call with me personally, send me an email. I got you. No suffering in silence, but I'm also not going to let you off the hook. And isn't that wonderful? We all need somebody that's going to be a champion for our success, sometimes in spite of ourselves. All right, go forth. I want to hear from you. Until next time, please like, comment, share. So we need your feedback. Let us know what you want to hear more of in podcasts. I get emails all the time. Can you do a podcast on this? These are where my titles come from. So give them to me.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.